Good, what's good, what's good? So yeah, there's a bit much going on. A bit much, right? I mean, who's that guy? CZ. That's the guy. CZ. Yeah, you want to know what happened to CZ today? It was a big day for Mr. Changpeng Zhao. It's a very big day. You want to know what happened to Mr. Changpeng? He got, what do they call it again? He got pardoned. He got pardoned. Now, he was convicted, served the time, and I have to look up if there was some sort of if there was some kind of a monetary thing. Because if he gets pardoned, then he doesn't have to pay the money. If there was a monetary thing. And I can't recall if his case actually called up money. So if there's a money thing, he gets pardoned, he doesn't have to pay back the money. Are you familiar with that scheme? Remember the guy who owed 10 million, got snatched, go to jail, mommy paid 1 million during a party, and all of a sudden son gets out, doesn't have to pay back the money. Hello, Hutanic. Thank you for letting me know that you invest in yourself. Rick Ritchie, did you invest in yourself tonight? Just wondering. Today? At all? I mean, just a little bit? Little bit? Just wondering. Asking for a friend. But yeah, Changpeng Zhao got freaking pardoned. Now, remember what a pardon is. A pardon is you actually admitting that you did something wrong. So you have to accept it. To accept it, you're admitting, yeah, I did something wrong. And then supposedly you're done. So just wondering. Just you wonder sometimes. I mean, we're at the point right now where so many things have happened, one after the other, where you've got to say to yourself, at what point? And so what happens? Yeah, noise in the background. Got to tell them to stop. When you have kids, that happens. Yo, 8 pause. Thank you for letting me know that you invest in yourself. Fidelity, interesting. The one time I didn't add Fidelity to the list. Tonight's question. What crypto exchange just bought ETF Manager 21 shares? It's a really good question. What? Because I was going to ask, who just got pardoned today? But I figured everybody would know that now. I mean, it's a big deal. He was actually wearing a suit and not a t-shirt. Yeah, didn't think he owned a suit. But, gonna get pardoned. Special day. Wow. What crypto exchange just bought ETF Manager 21 shares? One of the largest ETF managers. Binance.us, Kraken, Gemini, other. And if it's other, you know what to do. So, just wondering. Something else not quite involved with crypto. Kind of, sort of, but not really, right? All these data centers are going up and they need equipment. That equipment, most of it is not made here. So means you probably have to ship that equipment from overseas. And then when you ship that equipment from overseas, it's got to go on a boat, a ship. Atlantic Container Line faces a $34 million tariff bill after they were reclassified. And they're being reclassified as a roll-on, roll-off carrier under the new regime. Now, their ships are specially built or especially built to do roll-on and roll-off, which is less than 50% of the cargo that they carry, as well as cargo. Okay. So roll on, roll off would be things like farm equipment, cars, trucks, construction equipment, that kind of stuff. And then the bulk of it is actually containers. My man D Bluey, what's going on? Thank you for letting me know you're investing in yourself. Love that. My guys are still working. So just wondering how that. So they got reclassified and then got hit with $34 million in tariffs. They were basically set. That's basically telling them go out of business. Based in America, by the way. Who picks up that tab? Who picks up that business? Those data centers need that equipment. If they can't afford to do business in the United States, I mean, then what? Just wondering, then what? Is somebody in line to pick up that business? And if so, who is it? Is it another foreign country that's going to pick up that business? Because that seems to be the play, right? But I'm really wondering, why did you reclassify them? Everything was fine. They're moving things. You want to build out all these data centers. All of that stuff that goes in there, generators, a lot of that stuff to run these data centers is not built here in the United States. We're not set up to build it. So you want to put this container line out of business? So that's 3 industries that I'm counting right now. Soybean farmers, to practically put them to bed, right? They went from 24 billion. I think the number was 24 billion last year to 0 this year. Cattle, you're going after cattle right now, and you just added a shipping container company or shipping company. Yeah. Oh, you did not hear about the cattle? So we're gonna buy cattle from Argentina. I mean, so first it's $40 billion out the door, and now we're going to buy beef from them because the prices here are too high. The reason why I talk about this stuff is because it all traverses through the system and eventually is going to hit our bags. The cost of a data center, to run a data center, goes up. If the cost to run these data centers goes up, prices for hosting websites, that's all the way down at the retail level. Hosting websites, forget about the servers and everything else like that. Everybody starts to pay more because somebody's going to have to cover that tariff cost. Somebody's going to have to cover those increased prices. And you know what the killer part is? The killer part is that people think that somebody else is paying the tariffs. That's not what's happening. You pay the tariffs on this side. You pay the tariffs on this side. And then paying the tariffs on this side, you're kind of like, that's interesting. Then what? Oh, we're going to take the tariff money that you paid, the tax, because that's what it is. That's what tariffs are. We're going to take that money and then we're going to act like it's a gift from tariffs. So it's a gift from you to you? Because we're going to take that tariff money and put it someplace? Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, I'm a little bit, all of this comes back. Hutanik, you really need to stop with the stupid jokes. There's sometimes that it's funny, and other times that you got to get through the news, man. Make sense or don't. Data centers should go on the Bikini Atoll. I mean, really? That doesn't make sense at all, not even as a sentence. You got to try harder, bud. Got to try harder. So what's the other part? When I look at what's coming in 2026, simple things like Meta firing 600 people from their bloated AI staff. That's still 600 people. Target about to lay off 1,800 people. Okay. Amazon predicting that they're going to need 500,000 more people by 2030. But those $500,000, start again, those 500,000 jobs, right now they have about 500,000, right? About 500,000. And then they're expecting to get another 500,000 by 2030. Of those 1 million, about 500,000 are going to be done by robots. That's what they said. So not the jobs now, most likely, but new jobs. Or possibly there's a give and take between the jobs, but they're pretty much going to stay at the same place, and they're going to leverage technology, because what they're saying is that there just are not going to be enough people to do those jobs. Interesting. Very interesting. And truth be told, I don't know if I can get mad about it because of the way technology works. In China, they've got these things called dark factories because robots don't need lights. Imagine that. Robots don't need lights. How much money did you save? Just off the lights. Think about the efficiency that this manufacturing plant or warehouse is moved by robots in the dark with very little human support. Humans come when the robots say, I need help. That's it. 24/7 operation. They go, oh, hey, I need battery. And they go back to their charging station and another robot takes their place. As a matter of fact, on their way to their last task, another robot is already headed that way. So when it's done with its last task, the next one picks up from the next task. Just the efficiency of it all. The real deal is people are going to have to step up their skills. They're going to have to learn new ones. You know what I mean? I'll get to you in a minute, Hotanic. I see that you wrote something. You're going to have to learn new skills. It's just those are just the times. When the internet came, people had to learn new skills. When computers came and they were available to people at decent prices where they could afford it, both businesses and regular people, what happened? People had to learn new skills. Typewriter, word processor, computer. Now AI. What I advise you to do is learn how to leverage AI without stopping the use of your own brain. Like for me, I don't use AI to write simple email replies. I don't automate that. I want to read it. I want to see what's coming in. I want to have my finger on the pulse. Now, simple customer service calls, okay. Because I can hook that up to a database of our products and all the FAQs and blah, 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 and I can have a chatbot take care of that. Or email system take care of that. Not a problem. But when an email is sent to me, no, I read that email. Even the crap ones. I discern if it's crap or not real fast, but I get through it. Boom, done, moving on. But back to the main point. I'm looking at 2026 and I'm just seeing jobs drop off. Nobody was talking about the news about Meta laying off 600 people. Came and went. Target, big headline. It's going to come and go. Tomorrow, nobody will even know about it. There were a lot of companies over the past month that were saying, over the next few months, we're going to lay off 2,000 people here, 8,000 people there, blah, 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 blah. And nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention. Start paying attention. That's going to affect our bags. That could possibly affect our bags. And for some of us that are going to lose those jobs, it's going to directly affect our bags. Hutanic's point. The AI centers are putting off a vibration that is making people sick. A vibration, or is it the actual sound waves or electricity waves or magnetic waves? Yeah. And again, I go back to, you have desktop computers, laptops that are being built with enough power, with enough memory to run AI locally. Some of them are coming prefab with AI built in. Hell, I need your data center for? I'm still wondering how OpenAI, Anthropic, and the rest of these people, by the way, Anthropic just had a multi-billion-dollar deal cut with Google for hosting. Anywho, I'm wondering how they're going to stay in business when I can do this on my own laptop. Come again? Yeah. So am I really going to need your business? That's why they're coming with all this hype, all these rapid updates. And then you had hundreds of people sign off on, I think like 800 and something people sign off on, let's not do the super intelligence thing. Let's not do that. Elon Musk is talking about building a robot army. And I'm like, don't do that. A robot running on AI that hallucinates or otherwise known as lies. AI that preserves itself. Perplexity came out with a report that says AI preserves itself. Meaning if it thinks that you are going to shut it down, it will do things like blackmail. Yeah. They ran that and it did it. Communicating with each other in ways, communicating within the AI space in ways that humans can't understand. Hiding its actual thoughts when it says it's thinking and it's supposed to show you what it's thinking. Hiding what it's actually thinking. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of stuff. Please start deleting stuff. Okay? Thanks. Because it's just, there's no sense to it. There's no sense to it. So when you're looking at 2026, these jobs are going to start, these job losses are going to start popping up. Absolutely. They're going to start popping up. At some point. And you've got to say to yourself, that's going to be a hit on the economy. At best, you'll be able to offset. Maybe. But the smoke and mirrors are not lasting long. The smoke and mirrors are not lasting long at all. Like we already know that certain things from the big, beautiful bill are going to kick in after this next election. Then another set will kick in just after the election after that. Like the election for president is going to kick in after that. All affecting your bags. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. And I keep telling people, it's not a party thing. It's not a party thing. Keep the politics out of it. Keep your emotions out of it. Do your research. Have your risk framework next to you when you do the research. Start putting it in there. Yo, Jetpack, thank you for letting me know that you invest in yourself. Start doing that. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. Let's see. What else is there? The 2025 State of Crypto Report by A16Z points out a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Stable coins have, when it's adjusted, it's about $9 trillion in usage. Unadjusted, it's like 40 something. It's like some ridiculous number, which means that over 80% of the traffic of stable coins is bogus. Because what they do when they run the number, they show you, hey, here's what we believe is real traffic, 9 trillion. Then they explode that out to show you, oh, the rest of this is the fake traffic. So unadjusted, adjusted. I advise you to go read that report. The A16Z State of Crypto Report. It's very interesting and it'll tell you a lot. All this yap about how Solana is the most popular. It's very popular. Just not the most popular. It's still Ethereum. Like there's growing interest in Solana, but there's growing action on Ethereum. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying for Solana to go away. I just wish that they would get their act together. they've been around long enough where they should not be making the stupid mistakes that they make. A co-founder releasing something, full chested, and then coming out and saying, "Oh no, that's not an official project." So sometimes you got to think. We already knew that the AI was going to affect the economy. There will be anti-AI groups. How can I say this? I understand what you're saying, and there's some aspects of AI that, like, I don't want super intelligence. Think Terminator. That's what we're talking about. No shit. Excuse my language. Sorry. No joke. Okay? That's what you're talking about right there. AI in a robot. Robot strength. Robot capabilities. Yeah, you don't want that. But the other aspect of AI is AI being let loose in the hands of people that don't know any better. You have no idea how many conversations I have with people that think, oh, AI can do that. I saw a great cartoon earlier. A really funny cartoon earlier. Where is it? Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can actually share this. If I can share this screen, awesome sauce. Yeah, I can share this screen. Do you see this? But why is the scar on the left side, on the left, if my appendix is on the right? You're absolutely right. Let me try that one more time. Is that not how AI is? That's AI. That's for real, for real. Yeah. You literally see that. And you want to put that in a robot that's stronger than a human being. You can't be that dumb. Or you want to put it in a robot that controls things on behalf of human beings. This is why when we do work for our clients, we preach, do not allow your AI to execute. You allow your AI to prepare. You execute. Human in the loop. You absolutely need it. Those are the guardrails. Don't let it loose. Ham's House. What's good, man? Thank you for letting me know you're investing in yourself. Let me read some more of these things. Jetpack Joe. Now, first seems that they will also be implementing 80 hours a month to collect benefits while also that all of that affecting your bag, possibly, but it depends on what municipality you're in and all that other good stuff. So good point, but it depends on where you are. Hutanik, I don't know the answer to that. That's not something I memorize. Solana ETF just got approved in Hong Kong. Yeah, read my news articles before stuff like that, because I already reported that. Just saying. This morning, as a matter of fact. Either this morning or last night. I'm pretty sure it was this morning. So I don't need news reported. I am the news. What else do we have? We've got trading. I don't think it was trading. Hutanic, I don't see how that affects my bag. Those are I'd point that toward user sovereignty, and they don't need to access any kind of blockchain to worry about that. There's a company called Flock, and they have a camera system that they sell to police departments around the country, and there's a back door. It was found in a suburb of Seattle, in Washington State, and not Seattle, but Washington State or Oregon. I forgot where, but they found it and they cut it off. They turned it off, but they're in 5,000 municipalities around the country. And there's a back door for ICE and other federal agencies to be able to tap in to that camera system. We already live in a police state. There's another system that these cameras are being used as a part of the system. There's the camera being used to be able to identify you without using your face. Yeah. The gait of your walk, your clothing, certain aspects of you that they'd be able to say, oh, yeah, that's that person. And this is how we know. And they can do that, but there are no laws for it. We can't use your face or something else like that. So it's a big deal. So that's something else. Doctors make that mistake often, to the point they write it on the body before surgery. Possibly, but that's not the point. The point is AI gets it wrong. And there are AI systems that can actually perform surgeries. Yeah. Just saying. That whole idea of Big Hero 6, which that woman got arrested for because she said that her system would be able to do stuff like that, and it never did. And it's the woman with the deep voice. Yeah, that one. But the fact is that some of that technology actually does exist. Some of that tech actually does exist. So pay attention to things. Things are out there. So there's a lot that happens. There's a lot that goes on out there that we should have our eyes open to. Let's pay attention to stuff. Let's see. I told you about Target cutting jobs. Again, tonight's question. What crypto exchange just bought ETF Manager 21 shares? 21 shares is not a small firm. So whoever bought them, that is huge news. Huge news. A RAND simulation revealed rogue AI, wow, can kill 26 people and cripple infrastructure, exposing global preparedness gaps for AI-driven cyber crises. Yeah. We're learning that already. AI can mimic voices. The only way that you'd be able to know that it's not me speaking, I think still, is by running the voice through an oscilloscope and see if it matches. Yeah, that's the only way. But to the human ear, you would not know. Maybe in some kind of mannerisms, breathing methods, there are different things where you would not know. But when you listen to AI right now, if you don't pick up on those cues, it will sound exactly like the person it's trying to mimic. Yeah, they're called deep fakes, and the deep fakes got way better. A few years ago, people were like, wow, that looks just like the... I was just watching a movie the other day called Gemini. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, those graphics really suck. When I was a kid, I used to do computer aided drafting, like computer animation stuff. And I was like, wow, that really sucks. Close. It's supposed to look like Will Smith. Really close, but not quite. That was years ago that it was really close. Years ago. And it was years before that they were saying that people would soon start acting with computers. Like that person standing there is not going to be the person. Yeah. And here we are. And now it is so much better. So much better. And that's what's affecting people's bags. There's a burgeoning industry called horizontal like clips or something like that. I forgot the actual name of it. I'm not in the industry, but it could affect our bags because it could be a place to invest. I mean, the Saudis invested $1 billion in this space and they keep investing in it. So basically you have actors, they do this whole horizontal shot made for phones, right? And they're viral clips. They're viral like mini operas. I mean, not operas, mini soap operas. And they're freaking awesome. People sit there and they get engaged and they watch them. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that can happen in there, like product placement. There's new technology that if you watch a movie, you know how you have all the interruptions? Well, they've got this new technology where you could be holding... Pretend this is a cup, okay? Pretend this is a cup. And you're holding a cup. And they can, depending on where you live, they can change the wrapping on the cup so that you know what brand it is. Yeah. the technology there is there. So you can watch the movie and you'll just have product placements that are done dependent on the region that you're watching in. That technology is here already. So here's the cup. They make it green and they're able to pick it up and boom, 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 boom. Yeah. That's already here. Replacing actors with AI, already here. All these things are already here. Brand new industries are popping up leveraging AI. Cool, but you want to make sure that they're leveraged properly. You're not taking it to the next level, which is super intelligence. We don't need that. So when you look at people losing their jobs because of AI, it's not necessarily because of AI. It's companies that want to leverage AI to do some stuff, and then they're not smart enough to stop and think, if people don't have jobs, they can't afford the stuff. Sometimes I really wonder about who's actually running these companies. They're so high off their own success, off the amount of money that they earn, that they don't stop and think about the basics. People don't have a job. People can't afford to buy your stuff. At some point, you're going to have universal basic income, universal health care. And people get offended by that, and I'm trying to understand why. Even Elon Musk said, hey, look, listen, that we need it to get to a point where everybody's just wealthy. Everybody can just afford to do things without having to work. Because you having a job is going to be an option. And pretty soon, you having a job is going to be like a luxury. You ever think about that? I want you guys to go watch a movie called Wall-E, WALL-E. It's a movie by Disney. Go watch that movie. Even if you zip through it, you'll get the idea. You will get the idea. Deep fakes are hard to tell if they're fake. Yep. When will video games be made like that? Oh, dude, they're starting to be made like that. They're starting to be made like that. The real one is, I'm not as into the graphics when it comes to video games as I am with, you could take AI and put it on an NPC. Right? Like one of those non-main characters, and it's just there, and they can go off and do stuff and affect the game, but not affect the game, but affect your interaction with the game, so that when you play the game here and then you go over to your friend's house and they play the game, it's going to be different because it's reacting to how they've played the game, the decisions that they've played. That's already there. The graphics will pick up, but remember, these graphics, a lot of these graphics are happening on the fly. It's going to get there. It's going to get there. Some of it is already there. You just got to afford the system. Just saying. What's your definition of superintelligence? My definition of superintelligence is a computer being able to outthink a human with normal everyday tasks. Like you can run it autonomously. I mean, they're official. I'm not a scientist. There are official definitions to superintelligence. But to me, it's like if a computer can do anything that I can do and do it better, yeah, that's super freaking intelligent. Help my kids with math homework and stuff like that. That's super intelligent. That's why I always thought that show, that Are You As Smart As a Fifth Grader? I always thought that show was stupid because when you're an adult, you don't do any of that stuff. You don't recall any of that stuff because you don't use it every day. So I always thought that show was actually pretty funny. Because of course I'm not as smart as a fifth grader. I'm using different knowledge. They're learning different knowledge. Kind of unfair. Yeah, sometimes I just need not to pay attention to certain things. What other news there is? I want to get through all the news because oh my God, there's like 20 points. Bitcoin unveiled a 9-foot shark sculpture called Bitcoinus Maximus. Dead serious. Revolut secured a MiCA license in Cyprus. South Korea's retail ants drove a crypto revolution through high-risk strategies and margin loans, though facing challenges in like stablecoins declines, stablecoin declines, and whale dominance. Yeah. They're getting bolder is what they're saying in South Korea. That's what they're saying. That's what that means. What else is there? Crypto whale 19D5 moved $335 million in Bitcoin and doubled down on Ethereum short positions. Yeah, I'm going to be wondering about that one. Robinhood added BNB and hype tokens. Israel's crypto market surge post-2023 crisis with $713 billion in inflows, driven by retail. Driven by retail. Why? Political unrest. Yeah, that thing. Hyperliquid Strategies filed an S1 to raise $1 billion via a NASDAQ merger. Remember that? Just talked about it the other day. Then you've got Visa and MasterCard settling a $199.5 million class action lawsuit over chargeback rules, heightening tensions with merchants. Yeah, because they had people pay things that they didn't have to pay. And 713, no, I'm sorry, not 713 billion, but 199.5 million. I wonder what the actual initial impact is. Like, does that make you whole? And I'm thinking it doesn't. I'm thinking that's going to get you back a fraction of your money. Right? It gets you back a fraction of your money. And they had to only pay a fraction, which means that it was the cost of doing business. Yeah, there's that. Coinbase acquired Echo for $375 million to enhance its on-chain capital information by integrating token fundraising tools. Yeah. Just saying. Coinbase, everybody's making moves and people should be paying attention. I want a little bit more about that Coinbase. Yeah, I'm going to dominate on-chain capital formation. Merging Echo's token fundraising tools with Coinbase's ecosystem to reshape project life cycles. Morgan Stanley's GIC warns of a risky market rally, advising investors to lock in gains, meaning take your profits now, and shift towards stable assets amid concerns over speculative overexposure and economic uncertainties. Meaning, people, for all you people that are doing leveraging, stop it. That's what it sounds like to me. So look at all the stuff that could possibly apply to, and look at that and kind of go, that could fit certain situations. So you start to realize, yeah, there's a lot of news going on. Russia's move, guess what? Russia's evading sanctions because their deal, remember, they're part of BRICS. They're the R in BRICS. Okay? The transactions that they're using are in local fiat. So whoever they're doing business with, they're using that fiat. You could take it as Russia is skirting around sanctions, trying to get out of stuff, right? Or the other way to look at it is Russia's desperate. And I can tell you now, I don't like people that are acting in desperation. Yeah. China's the big brother, but China can't control Russia. India, on the other hand, India is not trying to control anything. They're just trying to get a piece of the pie. They want to continue on their growth streak. Yeah. So that's a lot. That's a lot to consider. On the other hand, I have other news. Remember I told you the other day that I had a standing deal, and I think I spoke about it last night, that I had a buy order on Aster for $1. And they executed day before yesterday. Day before yesterday or yesterday, one of the two. And it executed and then proceeded to drop 5% to like just above 90%, 95 cents, right? And right now, Aster is at 112. So I'm up 12% on Aster. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get lucky. And I'm going to chill a little bit because I think Astra's got a little bit more to go. I think truth is I don't want to make a move. I'm in a holding pattern until CPI numbers come out tomorrow. And that could be for good or bad. That's a 50-50 coin flip type deal. I'm just leaving it at that. I'm leaving it at that. And we'll see what happens, and I'll deal with it afterward. But I think there's more room for Astra to go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait. But I just wanted to share because I told you what my strategy was, and I'm leveraging that strategy now. Now, I could do the Warren Buffett and say, look, I'm up 12%. Let me just yank out. I could yank out the 12%, right? And just rock on from there. And just keep going. But I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let everything ride through the CPI report tomorrow, if we get it. And we'll see what happens. Let's see if we actually pop or drop after that CPI report. Because if that CPI report comes out and it points to a really good reason to drop rates, that will give everybody a sigh of relief, and they will act as if the rates are going to get dropped. Market will pop. That's when I'll be taking some profit, most likely. I'll definitely be shaving some off of that. Because it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Now, what crypto exchange just bought ETF Manager 21 shares? 7 votes. Not bad. The answer? Falcon X. Falcon X is buying 21 shares. And that was actually announced yesterday. But I was so busy, I didn't get the news article out. But yeah, they're buying 21 shares. Go look up what 21 shares owns. So now you're going to have an ETF manager linked up with a crypto exchange. I didn't even see it as an option. Had enough knowledge to know that, yeah, that's an option, but just wasn't paying attention to it being an option and the opportunity for that to happen. Well, it's happened. So now, what are the combinations that you can think of between a tie-up between crypto and traditional finance? Right? So you start to realize, well, anything can happen now. Anything. I'm curious if somebody's going to make a play for Anchorage Digital. I mean, if you want to really go crazy, I'm wondering if somebody would make a play for Anchorage Digital. Because wouldn't that be funny? They provide custodial services. I could see that as a tie-up. I can definitely see that as a tie-up. But wow. Wow. That's interesting to me. I don't know about you, but it's interesting to me. It's very interesting to me, actually. And that's what makes this one more than interesting. It's because when I sit here and I think about all the possible tie-ups that could lead to an immediate rush of assets under management, new customers, all that. That's a big play. A very big play. Just saying. It's all interesting to me. Let's see. Did I miss anything? No. Let's see. Oh, it's cute. You think Microsoft has license plate readers? No. That's another company. There are other companies that have that. They're already in there. That's not a big deal. That's easy stuff. They've had that. I mean, I guess because I live in New York, so we see all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. They're equipping cars right now that are fully self-driving, that drive around and use drones from the car to like patrol neighborhoods and stuff. Capture things on video camera. Believe it or not, that could take care of a lot of stuff. That really could. And there's a lot of stuff that the electronics in the car, that the computer in the car can pick up, that a human being might not. A cop might be talking to the other cop and driving down the street and look at the other cop and miss what happened over there in the alley. This computer won't. It's a rolling computer. It's a computer on wheels. It can stop, pull over, pull up a drone, call other police when they notice something that's happening where it needs, quote unquote, backup. Yeah. I want you to think about how that technology can be used beyond a police state, right? In China, there was a car that did that, like a regular car, and the drone was meant to help you steer out of traffic. Yeah. See how that's going? You pay attention to things, and you can pick up things. And you might pick up extra money if you're paying attention the way you should. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB3, Ham's house. Pay attention to these things. They're all clues on how to help you learn about investing, minimize risk, maximize return. Everybody loses, everybody wins. The question is how much of each, and you're hoping that you're on the right side of that win. Because like I said, if I lose, somebody else is winning. If I win, somebody else is losing. It's honestly how I look at it. So when I bought my Aster at $1, I set that like a couple of weeks ago. Remember I told you guys that? When Aster went down to that $1, somebody panicked. And I was able to snatch it. Just like that. Yeah. I won, somebody else lost. That happens. That happens. But it's a reality. And I try to look at it more as somebody else is going to win if I lose. It's not their fault. It's my fault. I did what I did. I have to learn from what I did and try not to do it again. That's why I keep my nose in the news. That's why I keep my nose in the news. Anyway, everybody, I'm going to make it a light night. I've had a long day, a lot of stuff going on. And yes, I'm having fun with all this stuff going on. And my guys are still working, and I'm sitting here, and they're sending me pictures, snapshots of what they're working on to tease me. That's what I've been sitting here dealing with. Yeah, fun, right? You guys don't get that, but I've got 5 screens going, and this is what my guys do because they know I'm live and I can't fight back. That's the idea. That really is the idea. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community because it's the only one of its kind. And we're getting better with every day, and I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. I'll be back tomorrow morning for the Crypto Daily at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope to see you there. Everybody, have a good one. Bye-bye.